Trump for inciting the violent riots at the Capitol with more than 200 co-sponsors. What happens now? We go live to Washington.
They will beat the Steelers in the opening round of the playoffs on a wonderful, wonderful wild card weekend. Kansas City, here we come.
The Browns break the curse. A wild card win against the Steelers. The first playoff victory for the Browns in 26 years. Jimmy joins us with the thrilling moments and a look forward to next week.
Seeing the Browns round 2 of the playoffs against the Chiefs, it's going to be a day.
Browns big business, how Cleveland businesses are gearing up for next Sunday, and the divisional championship round, hoping to capture the celebration even in the COVID pandemic.
And the drought is ended. The Factory of Sadness is closed. Mike Polk joins us with his new Factory of Gladness and what this moment means for Browns fans who've been waiting decades to have their turn at being champions. What's New starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Kansas City, here we come. Hello again, Northeast Ohio. I hope you're enjoying the best Victory Monday we have had in more than a quarter century. And with that, we welcome you into What's New. Cleveland, 48, Pittsburgh, 37.
I mean, mind blown, right? I have to tell you, Jay, I was like, the first quarter, it was just like, what is happening? And that was actually trending on Twitter last night. What is happening? Which is just the most Cleveland thing ever. And then once we got into the second half, everybody's like, all right, we really need to score here. We need to score. And it was such a great game. And I'm just so proud of our Browns.
It was amazing. Hopefully we can do it again Sunday in Kansas City. And we'll talk about that coming up.
Yeah, we will. We're going to talk to the voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, coming up in just a couple of minutes, too. But first, we have a lot of new developments out of the Capitol today that we'd like to get you caught up on. This morning, House Republicans sidelined a resolution calling on Vice President Mike Pence to replace the president under the 25th Amendment. Many sources have told NBC News the vice president is very unlikely to act. So House Democrats are increasing the emphasis on impeachment, something Democrats and a few Republicans agree on.
He has done something so serious that there should be prosecution against him.
I actually do believe that the president has disqualified himself.
Well, NBC's senior political editor Mark Murray joins us now. And Mark, there are enough Republicans indicating support to make impeachment a reality. Is that true?
And so on the House front, just to simply impeach the president like we saw about a year ago, you just need the simple majority of the House of Representatives to do that. And given that Democrats are in control of the House, if you end up having all Democrats voting for it, the president can be impeached. The real tricky situation for Democrats is what happens when you get to the United States Senate. And convicting the president in a Senate trial, that takes a supermajority, 67 votes. And in a couple of weeks, Democrats will actually be at 50 United States senators. That means they're going to need 17 Republicans to join them to convict the president. And so that's a much more difficult situation for them.
That supermajority is definitely harder for them to attain. Well, Republicans blocked a move to call on Vice President Mike Pence to strip President Trump of his power under the 25th Amendment. Is there any chance that legislation could move forward now?
Yeah, well, so there's going to be a vote expected tomorrow on this. Today, they blocked a unanimous consent. That means to actually do this very quickly, just straight up or down. You end up having one Republican who objected, which means it goes to a vote as early as tomorrow. And Democrats, with that majority, they could actually end up passing it. But what's important to note that this resolution is kind of non-binding. It calls on Vice President Mike Pence to take action to invoke the 25th Amendment, but there really isn't kind of anything that would bind him to do so. And it does seem to be, from all of our reporting, that Mike Pence is unwilling and uneasy to do and take this move.
Well, so much has been kind of focused on President Trump and his access to social media recently, with his accounts being revoked and permanently withheld. We haven't heard a lot from the president, despite the fact that he does have a press corps and many different ways to get word out to the American public. So with the inauguration just 9 days away, what do you expect he'll do when he leaves office?
Well, we already know that the president tweets that he will not be attending Joe Biden's inauguration. Our reporting does suggest that Mike Pence will end up attending. But so we know that President Trump will not attend the inauguration. It's very possible that he ends up leaving Washington before the inaugural festivities. And then again, outside of that, what ends up happening, there is concern that we could end up seeing something like what played out on Wednesday, where people, want to take matters into their own hands. And hopefully it doesn't come to that. But law enforcement officials, according to NBC News and others, are taking the preparations to prepare for the worst. And so what ends up happening during the inauguration and President Trump, how he goes out of office, I think that's really unknown, other than knowing that he won't be at the inaugural festivities.
Well, 9 more days and a lot of questions and not very many answers as of yet. Only time will reveal that, of course. But great information for us today, Mark. Thank you very much. Nightly News with Lester Holt will have the latest on all of this and the call for impeachment coming up. Jay?
Betsy, now on to your feed at 5.
They will beat the Steelers in the opening round of the playoffs on a wonderful, wonderful wild card weekend. They knock off the Steelers 48-37. Kansas City, here we come.
Last night was 26 years in the making. All of the heartache, losing our team, the bad coaches, all of those quarterbacks. It's as if last night was retribution for all of that. As the Cleveland Browns finally stood up, they shoved their big brother Pittsburgh Steelers to the turf and said, not anymore. It was a day of reckoning for the Browns organization and the entire fan base. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, called the game and he joins us now to talk about it. Jimmy, really, you can sum it up by just saying 3 words. What a night.
What a night, Jay. What a night. What an amazing victory by the Browns when you consider the road they had to travel just to get to the game in Pittsburgh, with all of the COVID concerns and realities with COVID last week, the loss of their head coach and many members of his staff, the loss of key players, the loss of practice time, and having to get ready to play the Steelers at Heinz Field. Simply put, everybody, this is one of the greatest victories in Cleveland Browns history. One of the greatest victories in Cleveland Browns history. And they went right at it right away. You talk about great starts. How about just seconds into the game, they jump out to a lead as the Steelers turn the ball over on a fumble back into the end zone. The Browns took a 28-0 lead, thanks in large part to a lot of Steeler turnovers, pinned to Big Ben Roethlisberger, who had 4 interceptions in the game. Now the historical factors. First playoff win since 1994. That season with Bill Belichick knocking off the Patriots in a playoff game at home. It's the first road playoff victory since way back in 1969. The first win in Pittsburgh at Heinz Field since 2003. 17 losses in a row. And the head coach, Kevin Stefanski, my coach of the year, your coach of the year, watched it all from his home in his basement on TV.
I have a newfound respect for all of our fans and how they watch those games. I like it better when I have some control.
Next up for the Browns, the divisional round, and they get the best, the cream of the crop, the defending Super Bowl champions. The Browns will be in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium. They'll take on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. That's Sunday at 3:05, late Sunday afternoon, as round number 2 comes up. Jay, the Browns this week could have a more normal week, and that's going to be very important. They should get their head coach back. They should get a lot of their assistant coaches back. They should get Joel Bitonio back, Denzel Ward back, and a lot of those players that have been on the COVID-19 list. But how about this, Jay? How about Kevin Stefanski last night? He's down in the basement, separated from his family. They're upstairs watching the game. Their television is synced up to natural time. When the ball sailed over Big Ben's head and the Browns scored the touchdown, they were up screaming. Stefanski was down below. His television set was on delay 45 seconds. And he's saying, I think something good just happened.
Unbelievable. My favorite soundbite of the night, quickly, was after the game, Baker was talking to NBC. At one point, they had 3 starting linemen out. Baker said, yeah, before the game, some guy named Blake came up to me and introduced himself to me. Later in the game, he was blocking for Baker. That sums up the week. Jimmy, a wild night indeed. Let's hope they can do it again next week in Kansas City. Thank you so much. Now, the only thing missing from last night was the crazy scene downtown that certainly would have ensued if not for the COVID pandemic restrictions. There were some celebrations, just much smaller in numbers.
Yeah, and if you watched our newscast after the game and saw Andrew Haransky's live report, you know there were still some people who were outside having some fun. But any number of fans is good for businesses that have been hurting over this last year. We just can't pack them in like we used to, right? Well, a Browns win is a big win for these businesses, too. Brandon Simmons tells us that some business owners are already preparing for next week.
Remember the celebrations that came with victory fridges a couple years back? Bars were packed across greater Cleveland, but this year's pandemic playoff win doesn't allow for that.
Well, before COVID, we would see a sea of brown and orange, you know, from the parking lots to the bars to the restaurants to even the stadium.
The 10 p.m. curfew is still in effect, making it harder for bars to attract night game crowds, although some did pull it off.
Well, we actually had a full house for the game, and people knowing they had to leave at halftime, we still had a full house. That's how excited people were.
People are also celebrating by getting their hands on T-shirts made locally by GV Art. The win over Pittsburgh inspiring this design that reads, "Same old Cleveland, not anymore. There's a new breed in town."
It's been cool to, continually, have stuff ready to go. And the minute the game ends, there's people jumping on our website. Can't wait for the new stuff.
Fans and business owners are already looking ahead to next week. Barley House and other places taking reservations for the 3 o'clock game, hoping for a winning celebration not limited by a curfew.
That's a huge benefit having it at 3 o'clock. People will be in early. People can stay afterwards and hopefully celebrate.
It's huge for us. It's really huge.
Not surprisingly, there were a lot of people who went out into the streets to celebrate after last night's win, despite the curfew that's in play. Now, of course, it'll be even more fun to see what happens this weekend without the curfew if we're able to get the win against the Chiefs. In Cleveland, I'm Brandon Simmons, 3 News.
Yeah, Jay, we heard fireworks around our neighborhood. I mean, people were definitely fired up for this win and certainly looking forward to Sunday, which, by the way, will be a little bit cool in case you want to do your celebrating outside.
All right, very good. I just hope to celebrate. If the Browns win, I'll celebrate on the moon. I mean, this is a big football game. We'll talk about their chances coming up in the second half hour. It's going to be a tough win, though.
I challenged a colleague of mine, Brian Busby, who's a chief meteorologist at one of the TV stations in Kansas City, to a $100 bet for the food bank.
Nice.
So come on,
Very
Browns.
good.
We're probably still going to make a donation to our food bank, too. Well, coming up for us here on What's New, the pandemic and work fatigue, where Ohio ranks and how to cope with the exhaustion. And then, People's Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive is now off the market. And good news for Sex and the City fans, we have all the details on the new reboot.
Hi there, Al. How you doing? You're always so good at that. Mic check one. Yeah. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've had a migraine today. I don't get migraines very often, so I'm drinking hot water. Awful. Okay, cool. Thank you. I don't know. Betsy suggested it. Yep, I'm coming. Coming.
Extraordinary care is right in your backyard.
That's about where I'll be. How's this sound? Pretty good? Hey, how's that sound? Go Browns. Come on, we can do this. Kansas City? Who? Who are they? Nobody, that's who. I ain't scared to know Kansas City. I hope that sounded believable. Good. I do.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get you up to date now on the number of COVID cases here in Ohio. 7,892 new cases were reported within the last day. That's 1,800 more than yesterday. However, it's right around the 21-day average. Jay?
COVID data points, both our positivity rate and hospitalizations down from yesterday. Positivity rate now at 12.4%. And we have just over 4,000 COVID-19 patients in Ohio hospitals today. That's down more than 200 from yesterday's number. Sadly, though, we lost 75 more Ohioans to COVID-19.
Well, turning things around now, Browns fans may have been sleepy, but no doubt they were pretty happy at work today. A much-needed respite when research is showing that a large majority of us is dealing with some serious work burnout. Senior health correspondent Monica Robbins explains how to recognize it and how to deal.
Stress? Check. Chronic stress? Another check. Burnout is the next phase in that mental health maelstrom the pandemic is giving many of us. Verilife, a cannabis dispensary company, surveyed 2,000 people and found 92% say burnout is affecting everyday life. The causes? COVID-19, but also work, finances, and politics. Burnout is a prolonged and heightened response to work stress. Your performance drops, you're exhausted, you've lost interest, and you're likely not sleeping. Are you dealing with coronasomnia?
The impact of being on our screens all the time, the light exposure that we're getting, especially if that's in the evening, as well as the content of what we're doing, can be very disruptive to sleep. So being mindful of that.
Sleep has a huge impact on our well-being, but needs routine and consistency of sleep and wake times. Start the new habit. Daylight may be sparse in Northeast Ohio winters, but that's all the more reason why you need to get outside and go for a walk. Working from home? Set rules to shut down and stick to them. Set a reasonable daily priority list and factor in critical periodic breaks. Got PTO? Use it. Time off can help you reset and diminish the negative mindset. Most importantly, know you're not alone. 80% of all generations say they're feeling the same way. And remember, your work is valuable, but your health, it's priceless. Monica Robbins, 3 News.
All right, Monica, thank you very much. It is time for weather. And Matt, your weather word today is epic.
Got it, Jay. Appreciate that. Just a little side note for you. This literally just happened. I'm in the basement, and the cats have their cat litter on the other side of the basement. Someone just got a little epic over on the other side over there, Jay. This is a rough working environment. I'm just gonna say.
Better you than me, Matt.
I know. Anyway, if we get an air purifier out here, it'd be great. Anyway, we'll fit that into the forecast for sure. Jay, I want to start by talking about the snow that we've had so far this season. We all know we've had really 2 big hits of snow so far. And so in terms of average, we are right at average in Cleveland right now. As of today, you can see Akron a little bit above average snowfall on the year. Erie is just such a good tell of our lake effect. We average about 50 inches in Erie. Ditto that around Ashtabula as well. And we haven't hit it. We haven't really had any of these in-between small bursts of snow. We really got it all in one fall swoop. And you can see here as we go through much of the U.S., we're actually dealing with a lot of snow cover. 44% U.S. is snow covered right now. That's the most on the state in the last 4 years. Look down towards the south. This is fresh as of this morning. A lot of this melting, but they got anywhere from 4 to 6, even a couple 8-inch totals. Areas of Texas back towards Mississippi, they have more snow on the ground than we. And you look at the lakes, yeah, there's some snow piles left over here in northeast Ohio, but there's not a lot of lake effect snow on the ground right now. Why do I show that? Because I think that's all going to change as we go about a week from now with the pattern change that's going to take place. But until then, we've got stubborn clouds. Boy, these aren't really filtering out as the models were showing yesterday. We do have a couple holes out towards the west. We are bringing drier air in here slowly, but there's not a big sun angle to get rid of this time of year. That system down to the south that produced all the snow, still trailing back towards areas of Atlanta, up towards the Carolinas with rain. A lot of that snow is going to wind down. That will not impact us overnight tonight. Our midweek weather, we'll have a couple systems off to the north kind of spraying the clouds in here, so we're not going to go full-on sunshine, although we will have a very quiet pattern. We will see some sun peaks as we go through the rest of the week. But we've been highlighting this big old system out towards the west. This little low right here is our pattern changer, a little troublemaker. Going to head here, develop an area low pressure, come across the country, and that's really going to flip our pattern around. Your National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast overnight tonight. We're quiet. You see the clouds still hanging on. Temperatures, they've been chilly. We've got wind chills in the teens right now. They'll stay in the teens overnight tonight. If we do get some clearing, you're going to drop a little bit quicker as we go into the daytime tomorrow. Still some clouds off to the north. Another system will swing by. That may kick off some flurries in our northern tier of counties. Otherwise, we see the clouds really coming back in after some peaks of sun tomorrow afternoon. And then Wednesday, that's when things start to change. That system develops off towards the west. We'll get a nice push of some drier air, perhaps some sunshine. But look at temperatures on Wednesday, up into the 40s. It'll be much nicer than where we've been, right? Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Here's our warm-up with some sunshine midweek, and then here's our pattern changer. Rain to snow, and then snow showers in the forecast. Nothing particularly heavy with that, but definitely a big change over where we've been over the last couple of days. Oh, and I forgot the weather word, which is, what an epic weather word you gave me, Jay. Man.
That's okay, you got it in.
Focused.
I was just questioning, I hadn't heard it, and I wondered if you had used it, but you got it in just under the wire. By the way, crack a window. Yep. We'll see you at 5:30. Betsy?
I will. Thanks.
Oh, man.
Poor Matt. All right, next here on What's New, Sex and the City is getting a reboot, but all the stars won't be making an appearance. Who's going to be left out? And we also have some moves from Little Blue Ivy. Wait until you see this. Then, what is this little man looking at outside? Can you guess? We'll have the answer and his adorable reaction ahead in Worth the Watch. We'll be right back.
Sex and the City fans have a lot to be excited about. A reboot is in the works. Kiera Cotton has all the latest details on that and much more in our Monday Pop Break.
We all know that the Knowles family is jam-packed with talent, including its youngest members. Over the weekend, Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles Lawson, shared a video of 9-year-old Blue Ivy getting her groove on in a dance class. She captioned the video of her granddaughter saying, "This is Blue, but I swear it looks like Solange dancing at this age. Clearly the apple doesn't fall far from the tree." Speaking of apples, anything is possible in the Big Apple, including the revival of Sex in the City. Sarah Jessica Parker, Cynthia Nixon, and Kristen Davis will all reprise their roles from the original series, but in the present, as they navigate love and friendship in their 50s. But there is one bummer to this revival. Kim Cattrall, who played Samantha, is not returning. A release date for the revival has not yet been announced. And last but not least, it appears that People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive is officially off the market. Michael B. Jordan made it Instagram official with his rumored boo, Lori Harvey, over the weekend. While neither of them posted captions with their photos, it's pretty clear just how close these two are. The 33-year-old actor and the 24-year-old model and social media personality have been linked together for months. And with these new pictures, it looks like the deal is sealed. You guys, my little heart is broken. I have been a Michael B. Jordan stan since his days on The Wire, and he's totally my husband in my head. But I do love, and I think that Lori Harvey is absolutely stunning, so I suppose in this moment I can be happy for them. Wishing them both the best of luck. Back to you guys.
As we all are, Kiera, thank you so much for that. Well, Jay, you know, not everybody loves snow. I know it's not your favorite thing ever, but maybe remember back to when you were a kid and you couldn't wait for the snow to fall.
I loved it when it snowed when I was little. I just hate it as an adult.
I think there's a lot of people that feel that way. I still get very excited about it, as you know. I love it. And a little boy in North Carolina shares my feeling. That is exactly what I do when we have snow in the forecast and I see the first snowflakes falling. Yes, that's called forecast verification, Cameron. And Cameron is 5 years old. He lives in Greensboro, North Carolina. And obviously, he's pretty stoked about that snow that's falling. Not everybody feels that way, though.
No, but I will tell you this. I do get excited like that. In fact, I'm super glad that my family hasn't shared any of the video of me watching the Browns game last night, because I did exactly what he did. I just kept jumping up and down saying, yeah. It was insane. I actually felt like I was 5 years old again, and I'm not making that up. It was great.
We all did. It's good.
All right, still ahead on What's New, the social media platform that's being blamed for some of the violence at the Capitol last week and the actions taken against it. And later, 2021 is the perfect time to kickstart your workout routine. Our Jason Frazier shows us how he's doing in his New You segment. I can tell you this, it's working. Then, as a Browns fan, it's rare that we get to feel this excited. Our Mike Polk Jr. joins us with ways to process last night's incredible win.
Hey, how we sounding there? This is what I'll talk about, this level right around here. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Excited about the Browns. Cool. Yep.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Well, welcome back to What's New on this Victory Monday, which it's cloudy outside, but let's face it, everybody's feeling sunny today, aren't we, Jay Crawford?
I don't see a cloud out there. I just see nothing but a big ball of fire in the sky. That's really all I see. I want to take a quick second and say that I know we've been focused so much on the Browns, but also if you're an Ohio sports fan, the craziness continues tonight because the Buckeyes play Alabama for a national championship. This is it. One more win, and they win another trophy. So good luck to our Buckeyes.
We love football here in the Buckeye State, certainly, and the two big teams, I mean, let's do this. Why not, right?
Absolutely.
Hopefully everybody has a little bit left in the tank to be able to continue their cheering, most certainly. We do want to, though, get started at the bottom of the hour here with three things that you need to know. House Democrats introduced an impeachment article against President Trump. The article charges the president with incitement of insurrection in connection with the riots at the Capitol on Wednesday. They plan to vote on the article this week. Meanwhile, House Republicans blocked a request by Democrats to unanimously pass a resolution for Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment that would remove the president from office. A vote is expected tomorrow night on that. And late this morning, Governor Mike DeWine ordered flags to be flown at half-staff on public buildings through Wednesday. It's to honor two Capitol Police officers who died. Officer Brian Sicknick died Thursday from his injuries during the riot when he was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher. Meanwhile, Officer Howard Liebengood, who also responded to the riots, died Saturday. The Washington Post is reporting that he died by suicide. And finally, the app Parler is now offline. Yesterday, Amazon said it would no longer provide cloud service or hosting to the company. According to CNBC, the decision is in the wake of Wednesday's riots at the U.S. Capitol. In an email, Amazon Web Services told Parler that it flagged 98 different examples of posts that, quote, clearly encourage and incite violence.
Now to our top talker. Yeah, that's exactly right. Kansas City, here we come. That classic song by Wilbert Harrison now has new meaning for Browns fans everywhere. And there's plenty of time to worry about the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Look, they are a juggernaut. But first, three fun facts we need to hold on to before we get to Sunday. First, how about this? The playoff drought for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots is now longer than the drought of the Cleveland Browns. I just love that. Sure, they have 6 Super Bowl rings and we have none, but this is a what have you done for me lately league. Congratulations, Cleveland. Number 2, check out the quarterbacks still left in the hunt for Super Bowl 55. There's Tom Brady, 6 Super Bowl wins. Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay, Patrick Mahomes of Kansas City each have 1 Super Bowl win. Drew Brees has a Super Bowl win. This guy, Lamar Jackson, NFL MVP. Jared Goff has been in a Super Bowl. There's Josh Allen, and oh yeah, Baker Mayfield is now in the final 8 quarterbacks still in the hunt for Super Bowl 55. And finally, expect some points to be scored on Sunday. Back in 2016, Baker Mayfield in Oklahoma played Patrick Mahomes in Texas Tech. The score that day, Baker won 66-59. No, the game did not go into overtime. Mahomes threw for 700 yards. Baker threw for 500 yards in a game that set the record for the most yards ever in a college football game. We could have a lot of points, and that should be fun to watch. Now, as we anxiously wait for next week's game, we need to soak in this win just a little bit more. It's something, as Clevelanders, that we really don't get a chance to do very often, especially in the playoffs. So, as he's done all season, our Mike Polk Jr. is giving his take on last night's game and today's continuing excitement.
Hey, welcome to the first Browns playoff victory Monday that we Cleveland fans can actually celebrate with each other online without having to go into an AOL chat room. Now, we're obviously all still processing this, and to be honest, I'm not entirely convinced that I'm not currently asleep, perhaps due to a slow gas leak in my home, and that this isn't all a creation of my oxygen-deprived brain. The reality is that my long-dormant Browns just beat the Steelers in their own house and are currently marching through the playoffs, so now it's on to our next opponent, which is, oh geez, that's not great. Doesn't matter. Why worry about the future when we can celebrate the immediate past? But to be honest, I'm a little out of practice at celebrating meaningful Browns postseason wins. Since the last time it happened, I was still in Boy Scouts. And in a fascinating role reversal, the Steelers and their fan base seem just as bewildered about how to react to their new role as the defeated. If you go online, you can actually see that they're currently working through the famed Kubler-Ross 5 stages of grief. For example, Juju Smith-Schuster is apparently in the denial stage after having unloaded some fairly harsh smack talk on the Browns prior to the game that many speculate was a big motivating factor. Despite this, in his post-game, rather than acknowledging the mistake, Schuster said, "I don't regret what I said. Even if you're cool with it, I'll bet your teammates might wish you wouldn't have poked the bear like that. Otherwise, they might not be experiencing the depression stage of grieving." Oh, and hey, who's that? Someone grabbed a picture of you sitting there, probably thinking about how much you don't regret saying what you said about the Browns. For the most part, the Steelers fan base seems pretty locked into the anger stage of grief, with some handling it worse than others. Ironically, that tantrum will likely transition this sturdy fan directly into the bargaining stage, when he takes that TV back to Best Buy and tries to convince them that it came out of the box like that. Look, I know I'm in no position to throw stones or judge fans for how they choose to react to difficult losses. I got so mad at my team once, I went downtown and yelled at an empty building for an hour. Well, thank God we built you! And in a way, it's got to be even harder for Pittsburgh fans than for us, because they're not used to losing. So this is all new to them. Say what you will about the Browns since '99, but you can't say they haven't prepared us for life's minor disappointments. That's why so many of us have arrived at this final stage of grief, acceptance, a long time ago. Losing's a part of life, almost exclusively for us for quite some time, but as it turns out, things do eventually get better. And I am a realist. I know very well that we're not going to beat Pittsburgh every time we play them moving forward, but I think we might just have ourselves the makings of a good old-fashioned rivalry again, whether some people are ready for that or not. Do yourselves a favor and enjoy the ride, folks. Keep rolling, and go Browns.
Oh, man, I've wanted to do that to a number of TVs. Couple of things quick. The enduring image that I'll have from last night was Big Ben sitting on the bench after the game, throwing all of those interceptions with grown man tears in his eyes. I didn't expect to see that. And on the trolling front, Chase Claypool said something about, that's okay, the Browns are going to get clapped next weekend at Kansas City. That's okay. You'll watch it from your sofa because you got clapped last night by the Browns. And this is out of character for me because I'm normally a nice guy, you know that. But I actually couldn't resist getting in on the trolling of Juju Smith-Schuster. Remember, the team was 11-0 when he started dancing on the other team's logos, and since then they're 1-5. He went to bed as the top trending item, Mike. He woke up as the top trending item on Twitter. And I never troll. I swear it's not my style, but I broke that rule last night with this tweet. Nameless gray faces, 48. Pittsburgh Steelers, 37. Don't disrespect a group of grown men. Don't do it.
You know, in fairness, though, Jay, I mean, it really hasn't been that hard not to troll as a Browns fan up until now. It's not like you were being magnanimous. We just didn't have all that much to troll about, really. So it's not like this is some huge adjustment you had to make, in fairness, right?
You're right. But I have said from the sidelines of watching others troll their team's big wins and the teams that they've beaten, I've said, I don't know what I'll do if I ever get to experience that, but I don't think I'll do that. And then there I was last night. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help myself, Mike.
That was well earned, and you shouldn't beat yourself up over it. We don't get the opportunity to do it very often. But it is really interesting watching these, Steelers fans, anybody who is only used to winning and then all of a sudden having that taken away, even for one night like that, and they just do not know how to handle it when that's just like another day at the office for us. So, hey, we got calluses, for better or worse.
We do, and we can be grief counselors because God knows we have a lot of experience with what they went through last night. And I want to say, great piece last Friday. It was your closing the plant that opened a new era. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Well, I don't know about that, but we shut her down, didn't we, Jay? We shut her down.
You shut her down in style. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, Let's face it, Cleveland shade is the second language of Northeast Ohio. We're all fluent in it for sure. Lots more of that to come. Well, still ahead for us here, a new year often means it's time to kickstart your new workout routine. Our Jason Fraser shows us the best trick to get started. And then the Browns won last night, as we know, and the internet is winning today. Hilarious memes trolling the Steelers fans. I'm telling you, the Cleveland shade is getting thrown around quite a bit. We'll have an update and a look around on social media for that. Plus, we'll get an update on this forecast. And yeah, more gray skies, but Jay and I told everybody, Matt, it doesn't matter what the weather is outside. We're feeling pretty sunny here in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky here in Cleveland as we take a live look at CSU Cam. Those clouds are hanging tough, Betsy. Reason why? We've got a lot of moisture that's stuck in place across Northeast Ohio, but there's snow down to the south. Another system that'll slide through here tomorrow, and then we talk big pattern changes this weekend. We'll take that forecast detailed through next week. Coming up.
Here it is as we turn the corner into mid-January, and guess what? We have more kind of yucky weather coming our way. We are still searching for sun peaks in the forecast. Of course, Matt Woods has been keeping a very close eye on all of that. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, well, hi there, Betsy. They had sun peaks. They were just about 200 miles west of us today. But, you know, I'll tell you, hopefully we can break out of this pattern. These clouds are just so stubborn this time of year. You and I both know that. And it really takes a lot to get that sunshine down here. That's why this last weekend was just so nice. But hopefully we've got some sun peaks here in the forecast. So let's talk temps first. Outside, it is a pretty chilly evening outside. We've got temps that have held pretty much in the low 30s today. You notice we're a little bit cooler back towards Mansfield, Sandusky, generally in the 20s right now. But you factor in that wind, which hasn't been particularly gusty. We do have some gusts over 20 perhaps at Mansfield. That probably lasted for about a second, then it went back down. But it's breezy outside. But you marry those two numbers together, and we're talking wind chills in the teens. So it is feeling very January-like. We don't have a a lot of snow on the ground, just some snow piles left over. That's about it. But what we do have are the clouds, and these have been stuck in the lower level of the atmosphere here. It's just some lingering moisture. We saw some flurries earlier today off of those. That has since left us, but you notice most of the moisture really down to the south. This is a big weather story. They've had all that snow. You saw that kid in North Carolina. I just love that, cheering with the snow. And they had a pretty decent snowfall from Texas back towards Mississippi. For us, we've got a system that'll slide in here tomorrow. You can see some of those clouds. This may kick off some flurries in our northern tier of counties. Overall, another system that's not a big deal. And then midweek, looking pretty quiet. We'll be dancing with some of the clouds from these fast-moving systems off towards the north. And then things get moving again as we get out towards the west. Big Gulf of Alaska low. This is our pattern changer. Area of low pressure will head into the eastern half of the U.S. after hitting the west coast, and that will really stir things up. Your National Design Mart hour by hour forecast tonight, though. Clouds hanging on. Models really want to clear us out. We're going to go mostly cloudy tonight. Temperatures back into the 20s. It will be another chilly start to your day tomorrow. And you can see as we go through time, that system slides in, bringing some clouds in our northern tier of counties. Best chance of sunshine tomorrow is going to be the further south you get, until we all kind of fill in with the clouds tomorrow evening. It's Wednesday that we really bring in the better chances for perhaps some sunshine. But here comes this low. Let's track this in later this week. Here it is on Tuesday. By Wednesday, it's heading across the country. This will eventually pick up Gulf of Mexico moisture. It looks like rain still on Friday, changing over to a rain-snow mix. And then snow on Saturday. This isn't a big system that's going to be particularly organized. It's just going to be scattered snow, not just Saturday. But watch what happens with that pattern change. Snow on Sunday. We've got snow chances on Monday and on Tuesday, as well as multiple systems will come through. None of them, again, look particularly strong. I think we may get a couple, little doses of some snow here and there, but overall, yeah, it's going to turn snowier, but no big snows in the forecast. Here's your Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. 40s next 2 days. Fridays when everything goes downhill. Here's your snow shower chance on into the weekend, and obviously the game and outdoor celebrations on Sunday looking like we may have some snowflakes around in cold conditions, but again, if today's any indication with the clouds, I don't think we'll be bothered by some snow around here next Sunday.
And it's so funny because I think of, January 19th last year, that was that really big snowstorm that we had that we knew was coming for over a week. So we're getting into that time when things can definitely get a little dicey for us. We'll keep an eye on it, though. Thanks, Matt. Jay?
For sure. Yep.
Well, as many of you celebrated the new year, some of you might have vowed that this is going to be the year that you're getting into shape. In our continuing series, The New You, our Jason Fraser shows you how you can do that in 2021.
January is typically the month for setting resolutions and kickstarting a healthier new routine, but it's still all too easy to make some excuses.
Some people just come up with the excuse that they have a time crunch, that they have to do this, they might have to take their kids.
And with the holiday season behind us, you may have noticed a big change involving your weight.
I mean, sitting at home, not burning as many calories to out with the family outings, people are actually gaining weight.
The pandemic has only made it worse. I gained about 16 pounds, but our program with the Cleveland Clinic's Wellness Center encouraged us to fit in as much exercise as we could. So I headed back to the gym. Initially, I lost 15 pounds and felt motivated. I decided to take up an old hobby, boxing. I enlisted the help of Jordan Short from the Combination Challenge in Beechwood. After 5 minutes of the workout, I instantaneously remembered how intense these workouts are.
So the combinations change every week. We do cardio boxing. It's no type of contact. We are not actually real boxers. We just use it as a tool of fitness.
Jordan says losing weight doesn't only happen at the gym. There are a few simple things that you can do inside your house right now to get into shape.
The most important thing to do would be to just get your heart rate up. So if you have stairs in your house, run up and down the stairs 10 times. Just to get your heart rate pumping.
You can also try doing Russian twist, which I'm demonstrating here. It involves sitting on the floor with your legs straight, twisting your body from side to side using a ball. If you have another person that's willing to help you, you can twist from one side to another while also throwing the ball back at the person as you turn to the other side. But if that's not your speed,
I would recommend starting off with some type of live streaming or Zoom at first. Just to get it going. Try 3 days a week, try everything. You really don't know what you like until you experience it.
Of course, you have to pay attention to what you eat after your workout to make sure you can still lose that weight. Jordan says to avoid foods that are high in sodium and fast foods. And as always, before you start any workout regimen, check with your doctor. In Cleveland, Jason Fraser, 3 News.
Jason, great info. Next on What's New, many people counted the Browns out last night. How the Browns are responding ahead in Clicking in Cleveland. A lot of good stuff. You'll want to see it. Then, this bald eagle was caught up in a mess. See how 2 teens helped save its life.
Yep. I love Petty Jay. Hey, Jay Crawford is being his pettiest self, and I love it. How about that? Super petty. Okay. Yep. Let me go over there right now. Sure.
Okay. Hi, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay? Yep. So far, 45 people have been charged in the riots, including 18 people charged with federal crimes. However, more arrests are expected as the week unfolds.
Yeah, I do. Sorry, just took the mic off. Okay.
It's time now to see what is clicking in Cleveland on this Victory Monday. I think everybody has an idea what's clicking in Cleveland today, but we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, who has been combing social media for us. And I have to assume, Steph, that Dog Pound Pride is on full display.
Oh, you are so right, Betsy. Happy Victory Monday to you and to everybody at home. And the internet is a great place to be if you're a Browns fan today. We asked you all to share your favorite victory memes with us, and you delivered. Browns fans have exactly zero chill when it comes to Ben Roethlisberger memes today, turning him into a pastry chef with a tray of turnovers, calling him a has-been, and he's also crying Jordan all over the internet today. But the Baker memes, oh, those are good too. Here's one where Baker turns into Michael Jordan himself with the classic line from The Last Dance, talking about using slights as motivation in his games. And here's a familiar sight, Baker planting a flag at the 50-yard line. Where have we seen this before? When Baker beat OSU in college for Oklahoma. Hopefully no hard feelings left from the Ohio State fans after this win against the Steelers. There's no love lost between Fox Sports host Colin Cowherd and Baker Mayfield. Check this out from today.
Hold on one quick second.
He's playing with me. I'm okay. You won this weekend, Baker. I still despise backward hat quarterbacks, but you deserve the credit. You played great. Congratulations.
Coward predicted a, quote, tire fire of a loss to the Steelers after basically saying Baker was jinxing the team for wearing his hat backwards during a press conference. So Baker made sure to do it again after last night's win. Expert level trolling there from Baker Mayfield. But Baker is not the only one who knows how to throw that Cleveland shade. Watch this.
What's up, Juice? What you say, Juice? Come in, having a chillin'. Turn up!
That's Jarvis Landry doing that Corvette TikTok dance we've seen Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster doing this season. The whole Browns team was in on it last week when they beat the Steelers to close out the regular season. And the Cleveland shade on full display. Betsy, I have to say, I really love Petty Jay coming out with this Browns win. He texted me another meme. We couldn't get it into the show, but it's Bert and Ernie with the letter L, and it says the Steelers learning the letter of the day. Petty Jay is my favorite. I think that's my favorite thing about this win.
I'm telling you what, there has been some epic-looking memes and all of the fantastic chip on our shoulder sayings that we can throw out of it. I think there's plenty more to come. Thanks, Steph. We'll see you again tomorrow. Jay?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Petty Jay. I couldn't resist. I just couldn't. It was too good. Next on What's New, we have a great Show Us Something Good. What some quick-thinking teens did to rescue an injured bald eagle. You'll want to see it. It's next.
Check 1, 2, 3. Brandon's microphone. We're talking about the Browns. Business is happy that they're going to be playing another game next weekend.
Berger had, hey, Al, how are you? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope you're enjoying this Victory Monday, one like we haven't seen in almost 30 years. He had like the best game of.
I want my wife, she's a teacher, so.
Check. Oh, are they not talking to me?
He's talking to you.
Yeah. Not hearing a thing.
I hear.
I don't hear anything. All right, there we go. Yeah, more than a half dozen candidates. Yes, I just got you now. The phone sometimes does that. Now I'm back.
We love to end on a positive note, and today's Show Us Something Good comes from Pasco County, Florida, where 2 teens worked with firefighters to help save an injured bald eagle. The fire rescue station posted on Facebook that the 2 teens showed up to the station with the bald eagle.
Yeah, Betsy, when they found it, the eagle's beak was wrapped in fishing line. A fishing hook was through its beak, and it was underweight. Of course, it couldn't eat. Firefighters called an owl sanctuary. They removed the hook. It is expected to make a full recovery and be released back into the wild very soon. What a great story.
I can hardly wait to see what we have in store for Victory Tuesday, Jay.
Let's do it. What matters most with Russ starts right now.
Now it's 6.